Hello, welcome back to the JoJo series, and in this video we are going to be making time stop. I'm going to be adding in moving NPCs to check whether the time stop works or not. So here I'll add in two moving NPCs and making something similar to these modules, because I'm going to be adding in time stop effects inside of the module. So let's add in a new module script inside of the time stop handler. Name it something like effects handler or something like that. We're going to be doing this later, but for now we need to focus on the functionality. Let's print handling effects. Now in time stop handler we'll just do we just require the effects handler, and let's make a new variable for the hitbox. Let's add in hit module as well. Hit module. Let's add in stun handler. Actually, now combat table. Let's add in a new property, call it time frozen false. We're going to be using this for the damage accumulation instead of the hit module. Now we're going to be creating, we need the user and the duration and the range. So seconds, the range will be 70. And now let's create the hitbox. The hitbox, and the shape will be a ball. Detection type, detection mode will be hit parts, because we need to hit parts. We'll add in an overlap params. Hold on, let's create an overlap params. Overlap params.new. The filter type will be blacklist. The user, so this is a character, and now we put in the overlap params right here. There we go. Now we can do something like this. Let's make a new table, anchored parts. So this table will put in every single part that is hit by the hitbox. Let's say the base plate is hit by the hitbox. It'll be put inside of the anchored parts and the prop, so then it will save anchored equals true. If let's say this dummy touches the time stop, it'll be anchored equals false, because normally the dummies aren't anchored. So yeah, part, let's bring part right here. If anchored part is a nil, if this part is already inside of the anchored parts, then it's already inside of the table. Because this hitbox is a loop, you need to check if it's already in the table or not, because this arm or this dummy will touch the time stop for a long period of time, which means it's going to fire this touched event a lot of times. So that's why we need to check if it already exists. Anchored parts, part, and part.anchored, anchored property. Once we've done that, we can do part.anchored task.delay, the duration function. We're going to loop through every single part inside of the anchored parts. Part in pairs, anchored parts, do. So the index is an instance, so let's name this part, and the value is the anchored value, as you can see right here. So it would look something like this. Left arm, dummy's left arm. It'll be instance and the key in the code of the instance, and the anchored property, let's say false. It'll look something like this. So that's why we do part for part anchored, do part dot anchored equals anchored. Anchored, then it's going to unanchor the part, but if it was already anchored, then it's not going to do anything because it's going to set it back to true. It's going to follow the previous property. And let's create a tool to make it easier to test. Let's require a timestamp handler. Create it, connect function. Timestamp handler, the timestamp, the user, which is the script.parent.parent. The duration, let's do 5 seconds. The range, let's do 50. Here. Well, it's not working. Requires handle is okay. I forgot to turn this off. Okay. There's an error. Let's see this error. Unable to cast vector3.float. Oh yeah, I see. We need to set the size. So hitbox dot size is range. And let's set the C-frame as well. Hitbox.cframe equals user.humanoid root part .cframe. There we go. That's weird. Oh yeah, I forgot. Let's put the anchored parts in, and let's clear the anchored parts. It works. It's anchored. Now I want it so that it saves damage. I don't want it to take damage immediately. I also want it to save the knockback. So to do that, let's go to the hit module. Right, so here we have the time frozen property inside of the combat table. For equals part, find first child, find first ancestor of class model. So it's going to find the first ancestor, which is a model, because characters are models. Then it's going to find the humanoid. So if character exists, then local humanoid equals character, find first child of class humanoid. If humanoid, then combat table character time frozen equals true. There we go. Let's do something like that. Now we're going to do something similar inside of this. If character, then instead of setting it to true, we're going to set it back to false. There we go. Now in hit module, let's make a knockback application. Here this takes damage immediately, but we're going to be checking if the character is in time stop or not. So let's make a new variable, cval equals cv, cv enemy humanoid.parent. If cval.timefrozen, then it's going to do something like this. It's going to check if damage application humanoid, enemy humanoid, if there's damage. So it's going to be adding in more damage, else it's going to create a new value inside of this table and it'll be damage. Else if it's not time frozen, then we're going to do take damage, like so. Now we could do something like this. Task.spawn function, repeat task.wait until cval.timefrozen, until not cval.timefrozen, until the character isn't frozen anymore. Do actually no, we don't need to, and we just do this. Enemy humanoid, take damage, damage application, enemy humanoid, and then we clear the table. Enemy damage application, enemy humanoid equals nil. Now let's see if this works. Time stop. Okay, it works, but there's one argument missing. Oh, because it's nil, right? Because we did 5 hits, then it's going to be all this module every time we hit a person, and we hit the dummy 5 times, so that means this will wait 5 times. But we can do something like this. If damage application enemy humanoid, if this doesn't exist, then return end. There we go. Now there should be no errors. Let's do time stop, knockback accumulation. But first let's add in a new function for the damage application, apply damage, let's put it right here. Cval enemy humanoid and damage. Now let's do apply damage, cval enemy humanoid and damage. Now for the knockback, we can do something like this. If cval.timefrozen, then let's make a new table. Oh, it's already a thing. Else actually let's do if knockback, then if cval.timefrozen, then else. So when it's in time stop, it's going to be putting the knockback inside of the knockback application. If knockback application humanoid, then it's the same thing with the damage one. We increment the knockback and we add in the knockback right here. Else we'll do here. So we can't just add in a delay to all the body velocities because they will fight each other. So we need to add in one body velocity. We can't just do something like this. If cval.timefrozen, then repeat wait until not cval.timefrozen, and then you add in the knockback. It won't work because the body velocity will fight each other. So that's why you need to add in one body velocity. So let's do something like this. Let's do this again. Repeat task.wait until not cval.timefrozen, If not knockback application enemy humanoid, then return end. If it's nil, then return end. Let's do this. The velocity will be this. There we go. This will be nil. Set this to nil once it's done adding the knockback. Now here, apply damage doesn't work. Oh, I accidentally commented else. There we go. It's not supposed to be commented. See if this works. Time stop. 1, 2, 3. Let's see if the knockback accumulates. It works. But sometimes when you do too much hits, then the knockback will be way too far. So there's a way you can limit this. You can do something like this. You can do something like this. If knockback application enemy humanoid, let's say I want the maximum force to be 120. So this is how it works. So this is how the knockback works. You have the direction and you have the force. Now there's a way you can check for only the force, because currently it's complicated. There's negatives, there's positives, so but there's a way to get a single number. You can do something like this, dot magnitude. Let's do this. Let's print the magnitude. It'll get a single number and it'll get the force of the knockback. Let me time stop. Let's do the last hit only. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See? 99.9. It's pretty accurate because inside of the standard script, the knockback is 100. So we can do an if statement. If knockback application enemy humanoid dot magnitude is bigger than, let's say, 120, or yeah, let's do 115, then we'll set knockback application enemy humanoid equals knockback application enemy humanoid dot unit. Dot unit gets the direction. Let's do something like this. Let's add in a print so you can understand it further. As you can see, this gets the direction. It converts everything into 1. So unit only gets the direction and pretty much removes the force. Now that we have the direction, we can just add in the force. Let's add in 120. Now the maximum knockback is 120. Let's put this inside of a function. Let's name the function apply knockback. Cval knockback and enemy humanoid. Cval knockback enemy humanoid. Time stop. Alright, now that we're done with the damage accumulation and the knockbacks and stuff, we can add in the effects now. Let's add in the audio. I'll search time stop. This sounds good. This sounds good. I'll set the volume to 2. I'll set the volume to 2 as well. Now let's add it in replicate storage effects folder. And for the hit effects, I'm not going to be using one module, but I'm going to be using 2 modules. Let's name this distortion effects. And for the waves, color effects, saturation, the saturation effects. I'll put this inside of a folder. Effects handler, effect handlers. Let's add in a new remote. Let's add in a new folder as well. Remotes. Distortion event. Saturation event. So the saturation effects module is for changing the color to black and white, and the distortion effects is adding in lots of colors and stuff. So yeah, let's make the variable for the remote. For the distortion effects module, use the distortion event remote. Let's use run service as well. If rs is client, then local player equals game, player local player on client event. Now for the distortion effects, we're going to be adding in the sound. So let's clone sound. Local sfx game.storage.fx folder dot timestamp clone. Let's add in the root part of the timestamp user as well. sfx.parent equals root part. sfx play sfx.ended connect function. Destroy the sfx once it's ended. There we go. Now let's create the color effects. So we're going to be using color correction. We're going to be adding in color correction instead of the lighting. Here's going to be the settings. The contrast will be -2 and the saturation will be -2 as well. The colors will be random. We're going to be picking random colors, or you can use the colors that you want to use. Local color correction equals instance.new color correction effect, color correction dot parent equals workspace dot equals game dot lighting. Let's also get the tween service. Local tween service equals game get service tween service. Let's do tween service create color correction. The duration will be 0.2 and the property will be contrast will be 2 and saturation will be -2 and tint color 3.new math random 0255. Just copy and paste it here. Now I want to make the color change 5 times. So let's just do something like this. We're going to be doing a for loop. There we go. I'll add this instead of task.spawn so it doesn't yield anything. Now instead of setting this to instance.new color correction, I'm going to do game.lighting find first child distortion effects. If not color correction, then just in case color correction already exists, because this is going to loop 3 times. We don't want to create the color correction effect 3 times. We're going to be reusing the one that's already created. And let's do task.wait. Let's add in a delay 0.1 or something, and color collection will be destroyed. Let's put this outside. And let's name the color correction effects to distortion effects, because we're going to be finding it with this name. And let's play. There we go. Now in timestamp handler, let's get the remotes. Local distortion remote equals game equals script dot remotes dot distortion remote distortion event, and let's fire it here. Fire all clients. We're going to fire to all clients, and let's put in the root part, user dot humanoid root part. Let's see if this works. Right, let's see. Oh, effects handler is not a valid module script. Oh yeah, it's script dot effect handlers dot distortion effects, and you know what, let's put them instead of a module script, so we only need to require the module script once. Let's name this effects handler. Local distortion effects. Actually, you don't need to add in a variable. Just need to require script dot color saturation effects, and let's add in remotes. Local distortion remote script dot parent dot remotes dot distortion remote distortion event, whatever. Saturation remote saturation event. Let's add in 2 functions. Function module dot distort distortion remote. Let's put in fire all clients, and the root part, function module dot saturate player saturation mode fire client player. There we go. So this fires to all client, because we want every single player to hear all the wind up, and we only want this to fire for everyone that's inside of the timestamp only. So now let's require the effects handler. Script.effects handler. Let's add an underscore actually. Okay. Effects handler dot distort user dot humanoid root part. Let's see if this works. Well, what? It's because we haven't required the timestamp handler in the client. Oh, modules is not a fault memory server storage. Okay. Now we're getting somewhere. Let's do this. Local run service equals game get service run service. If a server, this is an error because the client doesn't have access to server storage. So let's add in the values once we know this is a server script. We declare the variable and we set the values later on. Oh, I forgot to remove it. There we go. Let's see if this works. Ooh. It sums index nil with instance. Oh yeah, I forgot to require a combat table. Okay, let's see if this works. It's still not working. Oh yeah, I see why. I see how it is. Because we only require the effects handler in the server. So let's just do this. Now let's see if this works. This is horrible. Let's just set this to a variable. Oh, it's from RGB. Let's do from RGB. Let's see if this works. It's decent. Let's destroy the color correction as well. Destroy. Let's add in 5 actually. 5 different colors. What? I'll set this to in. 2.1. This should work now. Or we'll do both 2.2. Let's make this slower, a bit slower. 0.4. 0.4. Let's wait 1 second before the hitbox starts. 1 second. For my timestamp, I'll set the wind up to 2 seconds. You can set it to whatever you want. And in the effects handler and the hitbox.touched, let's do local player. Let's create a player variable. Player equals game.players. Get player from character. Character. Let's do this. If player, then effects handler. Let's saturate the player. And another thing I want to add in the duration, so that once the duration is ended, the black and white effects are gone. So hold on. Let's copy this, paste this here. Oops. Paste this here. Remove that. We'll just do print desaturating. I'll add in 2 arguments, the duration and the timestamp user, so we can anchor the timestamp user. So in our screen, the timestamp user will be not moving. The timestamp user and the duration. Let's do the same thing here. We'll use our player local user player get player from character user if user player. Then so we're doing two things for the user player and for the players inside of the time stop, because we cannot check if the user player is inside of the hitbox because of the blacklist, so that's why we need to do it separately. Right, okay, saturating, it works. And I want to make the distortion effects look better. I'll set the contrast to -2 as well. And I'm going to be adding in circles. I'm going to be adding in spheres. I'll add in one sphere. So local sphere equals instance.new part shape. It's enum sphere.shape. Part type.ball, sphere.canCollide equals false, sphere.anchored equals true, sphere.cFrame equals, we're going to be adding in root part.cFrame, sphere.color equals color3.new 255 255 it's from RGB, and sphere.cast shadow false, sphere.size vector3.new 100 100 100 sphere.material equals enum.material.force field. Let's set this to 0 and we'll twin it to 100. Sphere.parent workspace. Let's do tween service create sphere tween info.new. Let's do 0.2. Let's do 0.6. And the size equals vector3.new 100 100 100 play as a delay, then service create function. Let's do the same thing here, but 0 0 0, make it smaller. 0.2 seconds, the delay will be 0.2 seconds or 0.4. Actually, I'll set this to 1. Actually, I'll set this to 0.5, and delay will be 1. I don't know, 1.3, and I'll do the same thing here, but 0.2 seconds, and the size will be 0 0 0. I'll wait 2 seconds. I'll wait 0.2 seconds, then destroy the sphere. Now let's go to saturation effects. Let's do if player.character isn't the same as timestop user, then for part in pairs, so we're going to anchor every single part of the timestop user. Let's also add in the saved cFrame, because I want to anchor the timestop user, and once the timestop is over, I want it to go to the actual position, but I don't want it to anchor in the user screen. I want it to anchor in the victim screen. So let's do user get descendants, do if part is base part, then part.anchored equals true. Let's do task.lay duration function. Let's do the same thing here. False. set the timestamp user. Set the timestamp user dot humanoid root part dot cframe saved cframe, and then we'll add in the color correction effects right here. We'll just copy this, paste this here, remove the for loop, just paste this outside of the for loop. There we go. I'll name this saturation effects. So here I'll set the tune info 2.1. I'm not going to destroy this. I'll set the contrast to 0. I'll set the saturation to -1. No tint color. There we go. Now let's remove this instead of the delay. Actually, let's do something like this. Let's put this above the delay. And we'll do color correction, and I'll set this saturation back to 0. Alright, let's see if this works. Alright, the effects works. Oh, right, okay. We haven't put in the saved C frame, that's why. Let's put in the saved C frame. User.humanoid. Actually, we don't need to do this. Actually, we don't need a saved C frame. We just need to, well, I guess we'll just add in a remote, because I don't think it's possible to send a saved C frame. We fire this at the same time as we start the time stop, and the positions can change. So yeah, we're not going to be doing the test.delay. Instead, we'll just copy this then. Instead, we'll make a new remote desaturation event. Equal remote 2 equal script.parent.remotes.desaturation event. Remote 2 dot onServer event connect function. You don't need the duration then. Timestamp user. Let's do this. We'll copy the color correction here. We'll do. You can add in the saved C frame now. Now in effects handler, let's make a function module desaturate the player. The same thing here. Timestamp user. And the saved C frame. Put the timestamp user here. Saved C frame here. You can just do something like this. Let's do this. Copy this here. Copy the player variable here. And let's do desaturate user.humanoid root part.cframe. There we go. And let's desaturate for our character as well. User player. You don't need this either. So yeah. Error. Oh, I accidentally put on server event. It's on client event. Let's see if this works. But the desaturation didn't work. Oh yeah, because it uses the same remote. So mode 2 script.desaturation. Saturation mode 2. Right now it should work because we're using the right remote this time. Now in the screen of the victim, it should look like that we're also frozen in time, but in fact we can move around. Let's see if the desaturation event. Okay, there's an error. Time to nil with get descendants. Did I not put the timestamp user? Okay, desaturate. Yeah, we need to put in the timestamp user. So I'll set in the user as well. Now this should work. What? Oh yeah, it's supposed to be 0. Alright, it should work. Alright, now let's put the timestamp inside of the skill. So I'm going to go to Star Platinum skill handler. There we go, Star Platinum. I'll make a new function module.h. I'll just do this local timestamp handler require game.replicate storage modules.timestamp handler. Then do this character table combat cv character if cval dot attacking or cval dot blocking or cval dot stunned, then return end, and then we're going to do something like this. Local can timestamp equals cooldown handler dot get cooldown check cooldown character timestamp do 10 seconds if can timestamp, then if not can timestamp, then return end. Then we're going to create the cooldown character timestamp 10 seconds timestamp handler dot timestamp the model, the character, the duration will be 5 seconds, the range will be 200, and let's do, yeah, that's it. And I'm going to be removing the tool then. I'm also going to set the visualizer to false. I'm going to make the effects look a bit better. Here we go. Before we destroy this, I'll do something like this. I'll set this I, if I equals 5, then contrast 0, saturation 0, set it back to default. I'll do this right here, else Let's add in the sound effects. There we go. I'll also add in some camera movement, some camera. Okay, let's time stop. I think I'll wait 2 seconds. You don't have to do this, by the way. I'm just making it look better. How long is this? 1.272. Maybe I'll do 0.2. So it does this. Yep. And let's add in some camera stuff. In distortion effects. So for the camera, we'll do this. Workspace.current camera. The latest camera, that's the latest camera, and we'll set the field of view to 80 to 85. Then we'll set back to 70 right here. That's the default. There we go. Let me make it a bit smoother. There we go. Maybe I'll add in a weight right here to make it fit with the effects. You should not do this, by the way. I'm just doing stuff to make it look cool. Yeah, it looks cool. Let's do this then. Aspect lay 1.272. There we go. Yeah, it looks cool. Oh yeah, and I forgot to stun the player, so let's do this. Stand. Let's put this in task.lay. Don't do this. I'll do this because I want it to be synchronized with the effects. And in the hit module, make sure when it's when the character is in time stop, it doesn't stun, because it might accidentally unstun the player instead of time stop. So if not cval.timefrozen, then put this here and this is it for this video. Thank you, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.